So here's another example of interacting parameters, which will present a different problem learning-wise than what we saw before. So again, we'll consider head directionality, where we have two values, head first versus head final, which will predict certain orders of the object and the verb in an utterance. And then let's look at another parameter, which has been called subject drop. And the idea is that a language that allows the subject drop, like Spanish, would allow the subject to be dropped. It could be overt, right? So that to express they drink, you can have they be overt as the subject, or you could drop it. You can just say drink effectively, right, with the appropriate morphology to indicate who's drinking. But you could drop it or you could have it overt. That's fine. This contrasts with a language like English, where the subject must be overt. We can't just say drink to mean they drink, right, in English. So plus subject drop and minus subject drop. Okay, so once again, this is going to be creating four different grammars once we combine the two different values of each of these two parameters, head first versus head final, plus subject drop versus minus subject drop. So, great. Let's go and consider a data point, in this case, subject-object verb, which is the kind of thing you might find in embedded clauses in German. So, I kitties love is perfectly legitimate in an embedded clause in German. So, which grammars can analyze this data point? Let's look at our four grammar options. So, look at grammar one, and head first predicts that we should see subject-verb-object, because the verb phrase, you want to have the verb coming before the object in head first. Well, it's not what we see, but plus subject dropped allows the subject to be overt. That's okay, right? But it's really the SVO order that's not okay with this, so this grammar can't account for this data point. What about this one? Well, head final is good. That predicts the right order, and plus subject dropped allows the subject to be overt. That's fine. Great. So this grammar is compatible. Now, then we have head first and minus subject drop. So head first, again, is predicting subject verb object, which is not the right order, so that's already a non-starter. Minus subject drop requires the subject to be overt, which is fine. It is, but we just can't predict this word order, so the grammar 3 is also out. And then grammar 4, when we have head final predicting subject, object, verb, and minus subject drop requires the subject to be there, which it is, so this grammar is fine. So grammars 2 and grammars 4 are fine, right? But it's still a problem, right? Because there's more than one grammar compatible with this data point, even though we feel like it should definitely be informative for head final, because that's the only value that the working grammars use, right? But again, technically, this is still an ambiguous data point because more than one grammar would work. And so how do you learn with that? That is the question. What can we do?